share a little bit about both your background in medicine, but also your background with Lyme disease.
Yeah, I've sort of been in medicine since 1995, and in one form or another, doing wilderness medicine, EMT stuff, and then worked in the ER, and then after that, went to medical school, and somewhere along the way, actually, I think it was right around 1997, I had contracted acute Lyme disease, really sick, had a lot of terrible fatigue, brain fog. I really couldn't think. This was back in the day when we had the rotary phone, and I was actually on the phone with somebody, and they said, "Hey, I'd called them, and there was no caller ID." So they're like, "Well, I want to call and check on you. What's your phone number?" And well, I said, I have no idea. And then they're like, "Well, dude, you're on the phone, aren't you? It's like right in front of you." And I literally couldn't understand the fact that my phone number was on the phone in front of me. I mean, it was that bad. And then I ended up with this rash that covered like a fifth of my body. And so I got treated for about 10 days. And the first 4 days were kind of brutal. But then afterwards, it got a lot better. But then slowly over the next, couple of years, I started having brain fog and fatigue creep back in. I started, having aches and pains everywhere. Then my muscles started to ache. And I, along the way, got diagnosed with multiple different psychiatric illnesses, and then the medicines didn't work. And then they said, "Oh, well, it's fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue." And so, I was kind of stuck with that diagnosis until I sort of, stumbled upon lifestyle modifications and dietary stuff on my own. And I started to get a bit better. And then eventually I ran into two physicians in Maine who I was studying in their office while I was in medical school, and like all their patients they had the same exact symptoms like I did. And I just said, "Wait, whatever these people have, I'm pretty sure I have it. Could you test and check it out?" And a couple of weeks later, I got testing back that showed I had Lyme disease and babesiosis. And this is 8 years after those 10 days of doxycycline.
Wow.
And over the course of the next 4 years, I got treated, and all my symptoms went away. My brain came back. My body feels amazing. Anybody who knows me is like, I'm super athletic. I'm always outside or doing something or in the gym. And, it's just a matter of balancing out the diet and the exercise and, relaxation, along with, just kind of making sure you get the right treatments when you need to.
As people are joining us live here, I want to make sure that you make a comment, like, or share, or whatever it is, get more people watching this, because this is a very important piece of information here. So, Dr. Tom, I'm curious, was it because of the times and people, just doctors didn't know that much about what you had going on, or were you unlucky to just kind of be in the wrong place where no one could really help you at that time? Or is this what's happening today with people as well?
Kurt, that's an awesome question, because I'm always giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I think at the time, the doctor I saw thought he was doing everything right. That's the information that was out there. But it was interesting. I worked at a place called the Institute of Ecosystem Studies, which, Gene Likens, the guy who discovered acid rain, actually started this. And subsequently, they renamed it to the Carey Institute. And they're doing a lot of sort of, all the research on ticks and mice and the landscape ecology around this now. But they also have a beautiful garden system. And they had all these people who were doing the gardening across this beautiful sort of like, they had an indoor greenhouse and there's beautiful gardens across this huge outside property. But all these people in their 30s, they had like, 5, 10, even 15 different episodes of Lyme disease. And they're all like super decrepit. They all have like early arthritis symptoms, and they're having a hard time moving. And I was like, it didn't make any sense. And in the long run, it turns out that I got Lyme disease about 20 minutes away from Dr. Richard Horowitz, who subsequently became one of my mentors and teachers in learning about persistent Lyme disease and the treatment. And I'm just like, I wish we had all just gone to his office rather than the regular doctor's office, because maybe we would have had a different outcome. But what we're really seeing these days is there's a growing awareness that Lyme disease is much more common than we used to think it was. I mean, even about 5-6 years ago, the CDC said our estimates are probably are probably about tenfold too low. So meaning when they say there's about 30,000 cases per year, it's probably more like there's 300,000 new cases of Lyme. And so more and more people are becoming aware. There's more studies that are being done showing that shorter courses of antibiotics are not really all that effective. And so the awareness is growing, but there's not enough of it yet. So we're still, I think so many people still have that same story like I did. Here's your 10 days, here's your 14 days, or maybe your 3 weeks if you're lucky. And then in 2 months, when you come back in with acute onset fibromyalgia, sort of the next thing you know is it's all in your head. It's not Lyme disease. It's not possible because you got your 3 weeks. So unfortunately, we still hear a lot of that.